More loyal to Trump than the rule of law. How the President of the United States is hard at work corrupting the federal judiciary. Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graphs Grievances starts right now. No matter how much chaos, illegality, and authoritarianism Donald Trump unleashes in his second term, one truth remains: he will not live forever. But his influence, that may outlast all of us. Because long after Trump leaves the White House and leaves this earth, his legacy will live on through the judges he appoints today. In his first term, Trump installed 234 federal judges, a staggering number of lifetime appointments. Only two presidents in U.S. history appointed more judges in a single term: Jimmy Carter with 262 and Joe Biden with 235. But now Trump is back, and unlike last time when he largely handed judicial selections to Republican Senate leader Mitch McConnell and the Federalist Society, this time he's doing it himself. Why? Because now it's personal. After being indicted in 4 separate criminal cases and convicted of 34 felony counts in Manhattan, Trump no longer sees the judiciary as a check on power, but as a tool to consolidate it. He doesn't want judges who care about the Constitution. He wants judges who care about him. And we are already seeing the results. In May, Trump nominated Emil Bove to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, a lifetime post covering Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Bove isn't a neutral arbiter. He's a Trump loyalist through and through. He served as one of Trump's top criminal defense attorneys in both federal cases, and helped defend Trump during the Manhattan trial that resulted in 34 felony convictions. Now he serves in the Department of Justice as the Principal Associate Deputy Attorney General, a position that gives him sweeping authority over the department's operations. And Bove's using it to push Trump's political agenda from the inside. Shortly after returning to the DOJ, Bove began an aggressive purge of federal prosecutors who worked on January 6th cases. According to the department insiders, Bove claimed that the prosecutors were biased against the president and used that claim to justify firing dozens of career officials involved in investigations of Trump's coup attempt. These weren't partisan bureaucrats. These were respected public servants, many of them appointed during previous Republican administrations. Their only crime was holding Trump and his allies accountable for trying to overthrow a free and fair election. Then came the case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and a series of decisions that shocked even veteran DOJ officials. Federal prosecutors in Manhattan had spent months building a corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. When Bove stepped in, he ordered them to shut it down, arguing that the charges were politically motivated and that prosecuting Adams would interfere with Trump's immigration agenda. But acting U.S. Attorney Danielle Sassoon refused. She believed the case had merit and that Bove's interference was improper. Rather than carry out his orders, the longtime Republican resigned in protest. Several other prosecutors in New York and Washington followed her lead. In her resignation letter, Sassoon accused Bove of entering an improper quid pro quo, suggesting that dropping the case against Adams was part of a broader political bargain. The damage didn't stop there. Bove also clashed with FBI leadership over their handling of January 6 investigations. According to multiple reports, he demanded the names of FBI agents who oversaw the probe into Trump's role in the insurrection, and accused FBI leaders of insubordination when they hesitated. One internal memo Bove authored became the justification for firing dozens of FBI and DOJ officials connected to the January 6th investigations. Taken together, it amounts to a sweeping purge, a deliberate effort to eliminate anyone in law enforcement who dared to treat Trump like an ordinary citizen under the law. And if that weren't enough, a whistleblower has just come forward with explosive new allegations. Ezra Renunzi, a 15-year veteran Justice Department lawyer, filed a complaint this week describing how Bove openly discussed defying court orders to carry out mass deportations, even if it meant breaking the law. In a pivotal March 14th meeting, Bove reportedly told colleagues the DOJ should consider telling the courts, quote, please pardon me, fuck you, if a judge tried to block the president's immigration plan. The room, according to the complaint, went silent, and within weeks, Renunzi was out of a job. His account doesn't just describe a Justice Department bending under political pressure. It describes a department breaking, twisting itself to serve one man's will. The firing, the pressure, the lies to the court, the smearing of career prosecutors, it all paints a picture of a government where law no longer applies, where justice is whatever Donald Trump says it is, and where loyalty to Trump is the only qualification that matters. Now, Bove is up for a lifetime seat on the federal bench, and unless Senate Republicans show some backbone, he'll get it. And if confirmed, Bove won't just be another partisan judge. He'll be on the short list for the next seat on the Supreme Court, especially if Justice Alito or Justice Thomas, both in their 70s, choose to retire during Trump's second term. That's not a hypothetical. That's a plan in motion, because Trump doesn't believe in judicial independence. He believes in personal loyalty. And if you cross him, you don't just get replaced, you get crushed. But Bove isn't the only nominee raising alarms. Florida Judge Ed Artow followed a similar playbook. Just days after Trump's re-election, he met with Republican Senator Rick Scott's staff to lobby for a federal judgeship. Around the same time, he joined a panel of judges that ruled in Trump's favor in a defamation lawsuit against the Pulitzer Prize Board. Artow's opinion didn't just support Trump, it parroted his talking points. He called the Russia investigation a, quote, hoax, and even urged the Supreme Court to revisit New York Times v. Sullivan, the landmark case that protects the free press from political retaliation. 2 weeks after issuing that opinion, Artow interviewed with the White House counsel's office. Soon after, he was nominated for the federal bench. That's not how an independent judiciary works. That's a patronage system where legal opinions are traded for promotions and where loyalty to the president is rewarded with power. The judges Trump is nominating now will shape American life for generations. They will decide the fate of voting rights, reproductive freedom, LGBTQ protections, climate action, press freedom, and whether any future president can ever be held accountable again. And if those judges are chosen not for their fidelity to the Constitution, but for their obedience to Donald Trump, then the entire system collapses. And once the court belongs to him, there will be no one left to say no. So if you don't want Emil Bove sitting on the federal bench for life, and possibly the Supreme Court, contact your senator today, especially if they're a Republican. Their votes will make the difference here. Let them know that loyalty to Trump is not and should not be a qualification for a lifetime appointment to the courts. Thank you for watching Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please consider supporting my channel via the Venmo link below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.